The first car on this list is so overlooked that most people would walk right past it without giving it a second glance. And the last one? Let's just say people spend twice as much chasing a Toyota when they could have bought that instead and still had enough money left for gas, burgers, and a weekend road trip. If you're about to finance a $40,000 car because someone told you that's what reliable looks like, slow down for a second. The used car market has turned into a popularity contest, and your wallet is the one getting bullied. Dealers slap a Toyota or Honda badge on a car with enough miles to have visited the moon and back, then act like they're selling a rare collector's item. Here's the funny part. Some of the most dependable vehicles ever built are sitting in the corner of Facebook Marketplace, like the kid nobody picked for dodgeball. Not because they're bad, because people forgot they exist. That's exactly what we're talking about today. 5 ridiculously reliable used cars that almost nobody searches for, nobody brags about, and yet they'll happily keep driving while some brand new crossover is already throwing dashboard warning lights like it's celebrating Christmas. We're not chasing fancy badges today. We're chasing engines that refuse to quit, transmissions that don't throw tantrums, and cars that don't require selling a kidney every time the check engine light comes on. So grab your coffee, hide this video from that friend who's about to overpay for another overpriced Civic, and let's expose some of the biggest hidden bargains in the American used car market. Welcome back to the Car Geek. Let's get into it. Number 5 on today's list. And trust me, if this one already surprises you, the cars coming next are only going to get crazier. This is the kind of car that people ignore because they're too busy fighting over overpriced Hondas, like it's Black Friday at Walmart. The 2011 to 2016 Scion TC is probably one of the biggest bargains hiding in plain sight. The funniest part? Most people don't even know what a Scion is anymore. Mention one at a family barbecue and someone will probably ask if it's a new phone company. That's exactly why these cars stay cheap. Back when Toyota created the Scion brand, the goal was simple: convince younger buyers that Toyota could actually be cool. The problem wasn't the cars. The problem was that young people wanted turbochargers, giant spoilers, and exhaust systems loud enough to wake up 3 neighborhoods. Scion disappeared, but the cars never stopped being Toyotas underneath. And that's where things get interesting. Under that sporty-looking coupe body is one of Toyota's most proven mechanical packages. The second-generation TC comes with a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder known as the 2ARFE engine. If that engine code sounds familiar, it's because Toyota stuffed this thing into millions of Camrys, RAV4s, and other family cars that seem physically incapable of dying. Mechanics love it because it keeps life simple. No turbocharger cooking itself. No direct injection building up carbon like a chimney. No complicated engineering experiment waiting to empty your savings account. Depending on the year, you're getting around 180 horsepower, which isn't going to win any drag races against a Hellcat, but it'll merge onto the interstate just fine without sounding like it's filing a complaint with human resources. Even better, Toyota skipped the CVT disaster that infected so many modern economy cars. Instead, the TC came with the U760E conventional 6-speed automatic transmission, or an incredibly solid 6-speed manual if you like shifting your own gears and reminding everyone at stoplights that you're a real driver. Fuel economy is another nice surprise. Expect around 23 miles per gallon in the city and roughly 31 on the highway. That's respectable for a sporty-looking coupe that still has enough room to haul groceries, luggage, or that giant toolbox every car guy somehow ends up owning. Inside, it feels much more expensive than people expect. Comfortable seats, a simple dashboard, decent cargo space thanks to the hatchback design, and Toyota-quality switches that somehow survive years of coffee spills, French fries, and people aggressively punching the radio because Bluetooth won't connect. Maintenance is almost boring. Keep fresh oil in it, replace fluids when you're supposed to, stay on top of brakes and suspension wear, and this engine will happily keep stacking miles like it gets paid overtime. Since it uses a timing chain instead of a timing belt, that's one less expensive maintenance item to worry about over the long run. And here's the best part. Because almost nobody searches for Scion anymore, depreciation absolutely destroyed these cars. While people are spending ridiculous money on older Civics with enough modifications to qualify as science experiments, you can often find a clean Scion TC in the $4,000 to $6,000 range with reasonable mileage and years of dependable life still ahead. It's basically a Toyota wearing fake glasses and a fake mustache, hoping nobody recognizes it. And somehow, it actually worked. Now, if you thought buying a forgotten Toyota was a smart loophole, wait until you see what comes next. This next car wears a badge that scares people away faster than a dashboard full of warning lights. And honestly, that's exactly why it's such a bargain. The 2005 to 2009 Saab 97X might be one of the greatest undercover cars ever sold in America. Say the word Saab around most used car shoppers, and you'll see the panic immediately. People start imagining impossible to find parts, mechanics charging luxury car labor rates, and repair bills that require a second mortgage. Normally, they'd have a point, but not this time. Because here's the joke that General Motors pulled on everyone. This isn't really a Saab in the way people think it is. It's basically a Chevrolet Trailblazer that showed up to the party wearing a fancy European suit and suddenly started drinking espresso instead of black coffee. Seriously. It was built on the exact same GMT 360 platform as the Trailblazer, GMC Envoy, Buick Rainier, and several other GM SUVs. Underneath that Swedish-looking front grille is pure American hardware, which means replacement parts are everywhere, and they're priced like normal Chevy parts instead of exotic European jewelry. Now, let's talk about the real reason this SUV deserves a spot on the list. Under the hood sits the legendary General Motors 4.2-liter Atlas inline-six engine. This thing developed around 290 horsepower and over 270 pound-feet of torque, which is more than enough to move this SUV without feeling like it's towing a house uphill. The Atlas engine earned a reputation for one simple reason: it just keeps going. The cast iron block is incredibly durable. The design is refreshingly straightforward, and with regular oil changes, these engines have been known to cross 300,000 miles without asking for much besides routine maintenance. It's the kind of engine mechanics smile at because there's actually room to work on it without needing 3 different swivel sockets and a therapy session afterward. Fuel economy isn't going to impress anyone. Expect somewhere around 14 miles per gallon in the city and about 20 on the highway depending on whether your right foot behaves itself. But let's be honest, nobody buys a mid-size SUV from the mid-2000s expecting Prius numbers. If you wanted 50 miles per gallon, you probably clicked on the wrong video. Inside, though, Saab actually did something pretty clever. Compared to the regular Trailblazer, the 97X received upgraded materials, softer leather seats, a quieter cabin, unique styling touches, and suspension tuning that made it feel noticeably more refined. It's like GM finally decided the Trailblazer deserved to wear a tuxedo instead of cargo shorts. Maintenance is surprisingly painless because almost every important mechanical component is shared with other GM trucks and SUVs from the same era. Walk into almost any parts store across America, and chances are they'll have what you need sitting on the shelf. You don't have to wait 3 weeks for a mysterious package to arrive from somewhere in Northern Europe. And that's exactly why these remain one of the best-kept secrets in today's used market. People see the Saab badge, assume it's an expensive European headache, and immediately move on. Meanwhile, someone who actually knows what they're looking at ends up driving home in a comfortable, powerful, dependable SUV for around $4,000 to $5,000. Honestly, that's one expensive-looking disguise for what is secretly one of GM's toughest workhorses. And if this one already feels like cheating the system, don't go anywhere, because the next car might be the biggest steal on this entire list. Before we get to the next hidden gem, do me a quick favor. If you know someone who's about to spend way too much money on a used car just because it has a popular badge on the hood, send them this video. You might literally save them thousands of dollars. And if you're enjoying these kinds of hidden automotive secrets, hit that like button so YouTube knows to show the Car Geek to more people who love cars just as much as we do. Now, let's keep exposing these bargains. The next car is probably the biggest surprise on this list because if you ask 10 people to name a reliable German sedan, this one wouldn't even make the conversation. Most people hear Volkswagen and immediately start calculating repair bills in their heads. They picture turbo failures, electrical gremlins that only show up on Mondays, and dashboard lights that stay on longer than Christmas decorations. Normally, that's not an unreasonable fear. But the 2012 to 2014 Volkswagen Passat with the 2.5-liter engine is a completely different story. And here's the most important part. You have to find the right one. Walk away from the turbocharged 1.8-liter and the 2.0 turbo models if your goal is long-term reliability. The real prize is the naturally aspirated 2.5-liter inline-5, better known among Volkswagen fans as the 07K engine. This engine is one of those rare cases where Volkswagen accidentally made something so durable that owners started wondering if the engineers forgot to include the expensive repair feature. The 07K uses a sturdy cast iron block, a timing chain instead of a timing belt, and traditional port fuel injection. That last part is a bigger deal than many buyers realize because it means you don't have to deal with the heavy carbon buildup that plagues many direct-injected engines. Less carbon means fewer headaches, smoother performance, and one less reason to become best friends with your local repair shop. Power comes in at around 170 horsepower. It's not a sports sedan pretending to be a race car, but that's actually part of its charm. Everything feels smooth, predictable, and relaxed. It was designed to be a comfortable commuter, not a machine for collecting speeding tickets. Fuel economy is respectable too. You can expect roughly 22 miles per gallon around town and close to 31 on the highway, depending on how much self-control you have every time the traffic light turns green. Now let's talk about another reason mechanics actually respect this particular Passat. Volkswagen didn't pair this engine with one of their complicated DSG dual-clutch transmissions. Instead, they used a conventional 6-speed automatic built by Aisin, the same Japanese company that has supplied transmissions to Toyota, Lexus, Volvo, and several other manufacturers known for durability. That's a huge win because conventional automatics are generally simpler, proven, and much less intimidating once the warranty is long gone. Inside, the Passat feels far more upscale than its price tag suggests. The seats are comfortable enough for long highway drives, the cabin is surprisingly quiet, and there's enough rear seat space that your passengers won't feel like they're riding in the penalty box. It has that solid German feel without demanding German luxury car maintenance money. Today, the market lumps this car together with every other used Volkswagen, and that's exactly what creates the opportunity. People assume they're all expensive to own, so clean examples often sell for around $4,000 to $5,000. Meanwhile, buyers who know about the 2.5-liter quietly scoop them up before everyone else catches on. It's kind of like finding a steak dinner priced like a fast food combo because someone put the wrong label on the menu. Most people walk right past it. The smart shoppers don't. If you've made it this far, you've probably noticed a pattern. The best deals aren't the cars everyone wants. They're the ones everyone forgot to look at. And the next one might be the king of that category. Seriously. This car has been so invisible for so long that it could probably rob a bank and nobody would remember seeing it. The 2004 to 2012 Mitsubishi Galant is one of the most underrated midsize sedans ever sold in America. Back in the day, Mitsubishi wanted this car to compete head-to-head with the Honda Accord and Toyota Camry. Let's just say, that plan went about as well as bringing a garden hose to put out a forest fire. The Accord and Camry dominated the market. The Galant quietly faded into the background, and today hardly anyone even searches for one. And honestly, that's the best thing that could have happened for used car buyers. The version you want is the one equipped with the 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine, known as the legendary 4G69. If you've spent any time around Mitsubishi enthusiasts, you've probably heard that engine code before. It earned its reputation the old-fashioned way, by showing up every day, doing its job, and refusing to quit. This engine keeps everything beautifully simple. It uses a durable cast iron block, multi-port fuel injection, and a naturally aspirated design. No turbocharger spinning at 100,000 RPM, no direct injection adding expensive maintenance, no overly complicated electronics trying to reinvent the wheel. It's the automotive equivalent of that old refrigerator in your grandparents' garage that somehow outlived 3 kitchens. Output sits at around 160 horsepower, which isn't going to scare any Mustangs at a stoplight. But that's completely missing the point. This car wasn't built to win races. It was built to start every morning without acting dramatic. And honestly, that's a much more useful talent. Fuel economy is another strong point. Most owners see somewhere around 21 miles per gallon in the city and close to 30 on the highway. That's perfectly respectable for a comfortable mid-size sedan from this era, especially one that's known more for reliability than flashy performance. One of the biggest advantages is the transmission. Unlike some later Mitsubishi and Nissan models that became infamous for problematic CVTs, this Galant uses a traditional 4-speed hydraulic automatic transmission. It's simple, proven, and much easier to maintain over the long haul. Sometimes, fewer gears really do mean fewer problems. Now, there is one maintenance item you absolutely cannot ignore. The 4G69 engine uses a timing belt, not a timing chain. Mitsubishi recommends replacing it at the proper service interval, and if you stay on top of that maintenance, This engine has no problem stacking up hundreds of thousands of miles. Skip it though, and your wallet might start crying louder than someone who just paid dealer markup on a used Corolla. Inside, the Galant isn't flashy, and that's actually part of its charm. The controls are straightforward, visibility is excellent, the seats are comfortable enough for daily commuting, and there's plenty of room for passengers. It doesn't try to impress you with giant touch screens or 15 different drive modes you'll never use. It just gets in, starts, and gets you where you need to go. Because Mitsubishi lost the popularity battle years ago, depreciation absolutely crushed these cars. While shoppers fight over the same handful of used Camrys and Accords, clean Galants often sit quietly on the market for $3,000 to $4,000, waiting for someone who understands that reliability doesn't always come with a famous badge. And if you think this car was overlooked, just wait until you see the final one. In the mechanic world, this next engine has built a reputation that's almost mythical. Some people swear it could survive the apocalypse with nothing more than regular oil changes. We've reached the #1 spot, and if you've been waiting for the car that mechanics quietly smile about while everyone else scrolls past the listing, this is it. The 2006 to 2008 Buick Lucerne, equipped with a 3.8-liter V6, is one of the greatest hidden values in the American used car market. Not the North Star Vive 8. Let me repeat that before someone races to Marketplace and buys the wrong one. Skip the North Star. Walk right past it. The one you want is the Lucerne CX or CXL with the legendary 3.8-liter, also known as the GM 3800 Series 3. If engines had a Hall of Fame, this one would have its own wing. This power plant has earned a reputation over decades for doing one thing exceptionally well: refusing to die. Mechanics have watched these engines cross 200,000, 300,000, even 400,000 miles with nothing more than routine maintenance. At this point, the engine probably has better attendance than most people at their own jobs. One of the biggest improvements on the Series 3 version was the updated intake design, which addressed many of the issues found on earlier versions of the 3800. General Motors had already spent years refining this engine, and by the time it landed in the Lucerne, it had become one of the company's most dependable V6 platforms. Power comes in at around 197 horsepower with plenty of low-end torque, which means the car moves effortlessly around town without constantly hunting for gears. It's smooth, quiet, and exactly what you'd expect from a full-size American sedan designed to eat up highway miles. Speaking of highways, fuel economy is actually better than many people expect for a car this size. You'll generally see around 19 miles per gallon in the city and somewhere between 28 and 30 on the highway, depending on driving habits. Not bad for something that feels like you're driving your favorite living room recliner down Interstate 95. And that's honestly the best way to describe this car. The seats are ridiculously comfortable. You don't sit in a Lucerne, you disappear into it. After 2 hours behind the wheel, you'll start wondering why modern manufacturers think every seat needs to feel like gym equipment. Buick basically said, what if we made a couch, but gave it license plates? The ride quality is equally impressive. Soft suspension, excellent highway stability, and a cabin that's surprisingly quiet even by today's standards. It's the kind of car where potholes become polite suggestions instead of full-body workouts. Maintenance is refreshingly straightforward. Parts are inexpensive. Almost every independent mechanic in America has worked on a 3800 at some point. And repairs rarely require exotic tools or engineering degrees. Oil changes, coolant service, transmission fluid, brakes, and basic preventive maintenance are usually all these cars ask for. The funniest part is why they're still so affordable. Nobody wants to be seen driving what many people think of as Grandpa's Sunday church car. Meanwhile, Grandpa accidentally bought one of the most reliable sedans General Motors ever built, and he's probably still driving it while someone else is making a $700 monthly payment on a crossover that's already back at the dealership for software updates. Today, it's still possible to find clean Buick Lucernes with the 3.8 under the hood for $4,000 to $5,000. That's an incredible amount of comfort, reliability, and value for the money if you care more about what happens under the hood than what the neighbors think when you pull into the driveway. So here's the lesson from today's video. Stop buying badges. Start buying engineering. The Saab proved that a scary logo can hide dependable American mechanicals. The Scion showed us that sometimes the cheapest Toyota isn't wearing a Toyota badge. The Passat reminded everyone that not every German car is a financial horror movie. The Galant proved forgotten doesn't mean unreliable. And the Buick? It quietly reminded us that boring is sometimes exactly what you want when you're trying to make it to 300,000 miles without your bank account filing for divorce. That's why at the Car Geek we always say the smartest car in the parking lot usually isn't the one getting all the attention. It's the one that's still running when everyone else's warranty has already expired. If you enjoy this list, subscribe because we've got plenty more hidden automotive gems, mechanic secrets, and used car bargains coming your way. Trust me. The next list might save you even more money than this one.